In this video, I want to talk about a tool I've created recently to help me during the revision process. If you're like me and you're going through using the edit story, edit scene, edit line, custom prompts, you've got a snippet library full of notes about, here's revision suggestions. I've got my own revision snippets, but just this long list of information the AI has provided on how to improve the story. And it kind of gets overwhelming. It's, you've got an elephant-sized amount of revision information and a spoon, and you need some help organizing that information and giving you instructions on, which end of the elephant to start from when you start eating it. And the tool is called, it's under Edit Story, because that's where you're probably going to get the most use out of it, but the Revision Planner. And it's two pieces. It's the revisions input processor, which is going to take all your revision snippets and organize them into a single snippet. And then the detailed revision planners is it takes that combined list of revisions and goes through and tells you, here's the categories. Like I might have, one's on character, on dialogue, on description, whatever it may be. And then it's going to take a vague statement like, you need to add sensory detail to chapter 3. Well, chapter 3 might be 3,000 words long and have 3 scenes in it. So you need a little bit more guidance. So what the detailed revision planner will do is tell you, okay, in scene 1, chapter 7, you've got sight sensory details, but this is in a kitchen. You should have smell, aromas. And then it'll throw you a bone and say, here's how I would write that kitchen scene with the aromas. It's all about making the process of revision easier and quicker because... So we'll do the revisions input processor, and it's looking for our plot or story outline, and by default it's looking at full novel outline. And although it says full novel outline, it's actually the summaries and not the actual text of the entire thing. And then revision snippet sources, and this is multi-select, where I've got revisions act 1, maybe I got a revision here, another revisions, and say, so we'll give it 4 to work with. But we'll go into preview and see, yeah, like I said, it's not providing the entire novel, because we've only got 7,700 words here. So it's the scene summaries. We'll let Grok take a whack at it. And again, this is just going to create a categorized master list of revisions to make. As you've seen, it separates them by act and then chapter and scene with the different types of revisions for that act and scene, or that chapter and scene. And then for some of these where it's unable to determine where in the story it should make the change, and it puts them under location unclear. So like with all the other prompts, we want to do a save as snippet. Master revision list, and although it does keep a date, let's call this 18 July. And another place you can put it, and I will usually do this just for a single act. Copy everything for that act into the codex specifically for holding revisions. Detailed revision planner, and it's looking for the revision snippet source, which is our master revision list, And then I've got this toggle here, enable novel outline. And you'll see when it's turned on, it's 8,750 words because it is the entire novel summary. And if we turn it off, we see that it's now 3,000 words less. So if you're working on, a 150,000 word novel and your summaries are 20 or 30,000 words, you may not want to be throwing all that at the AI because it can get expensive. So that's where the toggle is here. But try it without the toggle on, and if the results aren't what you're expecting, it's not as detailed, then turn the toggle on, because now it's like a much more context to be aware of, what the revision means, what the revision is about, what its intent is, and then where it should go in the story. And then revision context. And this is another way to reduce the amount of work that you give to the AI, as well as reduce your token count. But we'll say, well, it's just Act 1, or I can say, and it's multi-select, just chapters 1, 2, and 3. And since the last one was Grok, we'll try Gemini 2.5 Flash for a difference of opinion, so to speak. So what it's done is it's taken all the bullets, the bullet point items in revisions, or if we, actually in our case we used the snippet, but same thing for Act 1, and categorized them by what type of revision it is. So we got plot and story, we got setting, we got character, and like here's ones for setting. Chapter 1, Scene 1. I made a note that engineering should have a faint smell of paint because co-workers have gone in and slapped on a fresh coat of paint so it looks nicer than it actually is. And so what we'll tell is like, well, that's a revision we want to work on. So that was number 2. Oh, and yeah, the warning here, this prompt loads the full text of multiple chapters into memory. Be mindful of the cost and start a new conversation frequently to purge the chat conversation's memory. So we'll say number 2. And then it's going to ask you some questions about, what's your vision for this whole thing? And ask clarified questions about what you want from the revision to the scene. So I've written some notes on what I'd like this particular revision to do, and we will send it to the AI. Gives a little diagnosis of what it sees the issue is that the revision note is trying to change. And then it says sublocation paragraph 1, and then suggestion about, here's how I might, how the AI might write this part of the scene. As it's providing suggestions and tell you, if you want to use the suggestion, or at least where I think the revision changes should be made, chapter 1, scene 1, chapter 2, scene 2, and then it has some quality check questions just to make sure that it's providing good suggestions and is not doing something that will significantly alter the story or take it off course. And it's a prompt that still needs a little bit of work, but it is, one more tool that you can use to make the revision process less of a grind, less of a slog. And again, that's under PBN 6 Edit Story, and it's number 647, the Revision Planner. If you have any questions, I highly recommend joining the Novel Crafter Discord. Thanks for watching and keep writing. Future readers are waiting for your stories.